Open your ear, cause I get the story. Open your ear, cause I get the story. Open your ear, cause I get the story. Story. Sophia tells a story. Story. She tells a story.
What are you doing here? What are you doing in the midst of strong men? You that you are slow. Run, you cannot run. Hi, welcome to Sophia Storytell. My name is Sophia Alhassan. I hope you've watched my previous stories that I posted on my page. If you haven't watched it, please do. You will learn a 1 or 2 lesson from it. My today's story is titled The Tortoise and the Giant Animal. Once upon a time, in a village called Agidigba, they are known for farming. They sell their crops around the village and communities. Agidigba was once a peaceful village. Not until one day, a giant animal entered the village and started terrorizing the village and even destroyed the farmers' crops. All the farmers gathered and went to the king's palace. They explained to the king how the giant animal has been destroying their crops, their yam, their cassava, their tomatoes, their vegetable, and now they cannot earn a living. Immediately, the king called the chief hunter and commanded him to gather all of his men to go and hunt the giant animal. But all of their efforts was in vain. The king thought to himself, what should I do? What kind of animal is terrorizing my village? What kind of animal is destroying my farmers' crops? Agidigba was once a peaceful village. He immediately sent a messenger to go around the village and communities and announce that he wants to see all the strong men in his palace in the next 3 days. After 3 days, all of the strong men in the nearby communities gathered in the king's palace, including Tortoise. When the villagers saw Tortoise, they began to mock him, telling him, Tortoise, what are you doing here? What are you doing in the midst of strong men? You that you are slow. Run, you cannot run. The king stopped them from mocking Tortoise. He told them that being strong is not by size. The king spoke to all the strong men that were gathered in the palace. You all know what has been happening in my village. A strong giant has been terrorizing and destroying my farmers' crops. If any of you are able to catch the giant animal, I will share my kingdom into 2 and give you half. All the strong men that were gathered, including Tortoise, all went their way, thinking of a tactic to catch the giant animal. One night, Tortoise was walking around the farmer's farm, thinking of a tactic to catch the giant animal. Suddenly, he saw the giant animal stealing crops. Knowing fully well he can't defeat the giant animal, a thought came to his mind. He approached the giant animal and said, Hello, I love what you are doing. The giant animal was surprised, looking at Tortoise. Yes, I would love to be your friend. I know where you see good crops. If only you agree to be my friend. The giant animal was surprised, looking at Tortoise. If I be your friend, what will you give me? Tortoise said, I will take you to where you will see good crops. We will share the crops. You know I live in this village. I will make you rich. We both will be rich. Giant animal got interested and asked Tortoise, I will be your friend. If only we will share the profits. 60-40. Tortoise said, okay, no problem. You are my boss. That was how Tortoise and the giant animal came to a conclusion. Giant animal told Tortoise to take him to the farm, but Tortoise said no, that the giant animal should give him time, that he wants to go and map out the location, that they will come back in 3 days' time, same location, same time. The giant animal agreed and they all departed. Tortoise went back home, thinking of a tactic to catch the giant animal. A thought came to him. He went to look for few strong men to help him dig up a hole. After they finished digging the hole for him, Tortoise asked them to cover the hole with leaves and he paid them off. 3 days after, Tortoise and the giant animal met at the same location as agreed. Tortoise handed the map over to the giant animal. He told the giant animal to move ahead, that he doesn't want the villagers to see them together. The giant animal listened to Tortoise and went ahead. As Tortoise was going, he was happy, singing, "Today is the day. Today is the day. Today is the day." The giant animal was curious and asked Tortoise, "Today is the day for what?" Tortoise said, "Today is the day that you and I will become rich." Knowing fully well how cunning Tortoise is, the tortoise tried to deceive the giant animal by having a conversation with him. During the conversation, the giant animal fell on Tortoise's trap. Immediately, Tortoise alerted the villagers, and quickly the villagers gathered and helped Tortoise to drag the giant animal to the palace. The villagers were curious as to how the tortoise was able to catch the giant animal. The king told them that being strong is not by size. I hope you've learned from this story.
Story, story.